Hey folks, and welcome to the start of my latest leveling challenge in WoW, 1 to 20 without taking any damage. Sounds easy? Just pull carefully? Well, just how careful do we need to be? Now, what I've learned from my previous challenge is that the key is testing. A lot of stuff will try to damage us, so this first run is more of a way to tell us what dangers await us. So let's get started. Started, that is, with the rules. Similar to last time, no mail from other characters or the auction house. That means we need to earn our own gold. No professions too. We're looking at getting experience in more dangerous ways than just hanging around in Elwyn picking herbs. Heirlooms are allowed. When the pre-patch comes around, might try again without, but for now they're fine, as are other account-wide goodies. I haven't listed it here since this is just a test run, so if we get hit, we carry on. Add a counter and learn from it. That means all damage, by the way, full damage and self-inflicted as well. Which means it's time to move on to the race and class. Pet class is most likely a must. I did think Hunter was best, but honestly I wanted a match level Warlock, so Human Warlock it is. Why Human? Well, the extra rep bonus is nice and I feel most comfortable with the starting zone. Plus, Stormwind rep is the most important rep for buying flying. On top of all of that, Warlock is known for damaging itself, and this time we can't. There's a bit of irony in that. All that settled, it's time to start at Northshire Abbey, and... oh, I thought I started with a pet. Oh well, a panicked search through the spellbook to find one I do later, and we'll start with the first few quests. With heirlooms and distance, everything is two-shot anyway, so the neutral mobs are fine. Crossing the river though, that's where we come face to face with our first two dangerous enemies. Firstly, fire. Now, this is obvious, don't stand in the fire. But there are a lot of fires around, campfires all over the place, that they may deal only 4 damage to you, but 4 damage is all it takes. The bigger issue is respawns. Many question areas have you head towards the centre, clearing a path to get there. That is all well and good until you start having respawning mobs trap you in it. We need to make sure that all of our mobs stay in front of us and not get us from behind where we can't see them coming. Not to mention, every mob has its own respawn timer, and that itself is changed by the number of players in the zone, which changes on a regular basis. Making it out unscathed, we're faced with a quest to kill the leader. These named mobs have a lot of health and abilities, which means right now, no tanking pet, we're not going to risk it, so we head to Goldshire. Here we have a lot to pick up, but one quest we don't do, exploring the cave. Why? Well, caves are dangerous places. Mobs can respawn behind us or come at us from side alleyways and trap us. Safety first, and safety is not caves. That's not to say, however, we can't kill some kobolds for gold dust and candles, and kill some boars for... no. So, here's another thing for the list. Charging mobs. Luckily, the boar died before it reached us, but the attempt is enough to abandon this quest. Pretty sure that won't be the last panic attack I have during this run. Next up is Murlocs, and I know these things respawn quickly. As far as I'm aware, they're the current method of getting experience quickly for speedrunning. That means we play it safe, one mob at a time, we stick to the edge, and oh my word, there's a wolf run. Another crisis averted, roads may be safe, but the woods aren't. We need complete understanding of our surroundings at all times. That means turning on nameplates so we can identify all threats. The next part of Elwyn is up, and along the way we get to level 10, which means Demonology and the Felguard. We quickly make short work of the Murlocs and my confidence goes up quite a bit. Well, still not enough to attack 3 named NPCs at once. We're staying away from that house. One mistake I did make, however, is not killing rares. There is a chance they have abilities that might target me, but it's early on, it's easy to reset, and most rares, in the starting zones at least, drop bags, which would be very useful since this time we didn't actually loot our kills, as opposed to last time where we didn't loot anything. Deciding Hoggle was beyond us though, we moved to Redridge, where I instantly regret not being able to jump down this tower to speed up the descent. Being careful to avoid full damage is one thing, long towers, that's another. Now, working through New Zone, I've come across a new issue. Pulling. Now, while I still need to let the Felguard go first, that's for sure, there are some times where we need to pull the mobs, towards us that is, so we can loot them and not run into a pack, and pets aren't the easiest thing to move in the world, so that is something that we'll have to manage. Then there are flying enemies. Now, I streamed all of this, and earlier I had been mocking Drain Life for being useless as we would take no damage, and I instantly eat my own words as it feels the need of being a low damage ability to aggro it before the Felguard can quickly grab threat, once it can reach of course. Next up is Lakeshire, and I very quickly wonder when we will get Unending Breath. And to make matters worse, every time I came here on the no killing challenge, this gnome corridor was surrounded by murlocs. This time, when I need to kill murlocs, nothing. Next up is the Gnolls, and I already know we aren't going to try and capture the Etin. But what about risking a cave? Well, along the way we picked up a talent that let our Felguard instantly Fellstorm. What this does do, however, is for a split second upon using it, give us threat on the pull. Not it, it targets us. Which means when we used it against this caster, he began to cast at us. Luckily, a little ledge is enough to line of sight the cast, but we were lucky here. Now, for those of you who know Redridge, next up it's normally helping NPCs, killing elite orcs and stuff. Well, we're not going to do that because that sounds dangerous. We're going to head to Dustwood where there are lots of quests. Lots of quests though means lots of threats. Originally I was going to do this as a Worgen, but thought of all those leaping Worgen, that was going to be too tough. Good choice, because the very first Worgen we encounter leaps at us and deals damage. That is one hit added to the counter, but it also means we should ditch this quest. Pretty much locks out two storylines. The Killing storyline, and the Legend of Stalvan storyline. But we do have a few more here. Along the way we meet some zombies with another thing to avoid, ground-based attacks. Considering they are dropped where they died, it's not the worst, but it's something to be careful about in the future. Next up is the Graveyard, except I choose to skip it. Why? Well, honestly, I was worried about the caster mobs, and I know the name Ghoul there CCs you. The rest of Dustwood, well, I'm worried about stealth mobs. I am really going to have to make some form of clipboard graphic for all these things I'm worried about. Stealth mobs those, not dealing with those. And that means Stranglethorn is also off limits because if you know Stranglethorn, you'll know there's stealth tigers and panthers all over the place. So with that done, it's time to leave the human kingdoms for now, which unfortunately means we haven't quite reached revered reputation. So where to next? Well, you'll find out next week. Until then, thanks for watching.